Hi guys, welcome to this video and welcome to my channel. My name is Laura. This is Pleiadian Healer from PleiadianHealer.com, and we're going to do another New Age trap review. We need like a little drum or something that we can drum for these because it's getting more and more exciting with each passing review. So today we're going to do Womp 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 Pamela Aaralyn. This was someone who was requested once or twice, so not too frequently, but just her content in general, when I was checking it out, kind of prompted me to do this review. And I'm doing it right now because of it. So Pamela has around 42,000 followers at the time I'm doing this review. She's also on other platforms and everything where she barely has any followers. She's like on Instagram, which has like 2,000. Channeling humans from the future, year 2030. So she's obviously a channeler. Now this got my attention right here. Remote viewing humans from the past, meet this person. And the image right here is Tikal in Guatemala. Now I actually went to Guatemala. That was in 2018. So before the 2020 madness and everything. And I can tell you one thing, a lot of things that these people are channeling, it's just not what they think they're channeling. With Tikal, the energy felt somewhat sincere, but if you go to Chichen Itza, if you go to all these Mayan sites overall, the Mayans were like one of the most brutal tribes out there, just to get that straight as well. They would send people on shrooms through the labyrinth so that they would basically pass out and die in the labyrinth, by the way, because, you know, it's just, and they would do way more sincere things than that too. That was just like a light version of torturing a person. But basically, when people are just so in awe with the Mayans and Tikal in Guatemala, they barely know what they're talking about. Now, this person claims to channel the Ascended Master, Jesus, but in the same playlist, she has like Joshua ben Joseph channeled by Pan. So things aren't really adding up because Ben Joseph was the actual, Joshua ben Joseph was the actual person. And then he turned into supposedly into an ascended master. All of that is new age junk. Just like a lot of things with the new age, it doesn't make sense. It's there to confuse people's heads and minds. As we already say with Sam the Illusionist too, it's literally just to hypnotize people more. What I found funny is she has like a Mary Magdalene channeling and she's wearing this like crown of flowers. And it got me. I mean, it's like these people are like actors, right? They got to look the part. If they don't look apart, they need some props or something. That's kind of what I'm picking up on that energy when looking at that. So let's just go to her about real quick before we review one of her videos. In her about, she's saying she's a world-renowned trance channel. So that's basically all you got to know. Mystic, spiritual teacher, sound healer, musician, and writer. Okay, so she's a writer. She likes to write scripts, is what I'm picking up on that. She's currently a PhD student, writing her work in the field of applied consciousness and practical mysticism. So whenever someone has a PhD in spirituality, first of all, it's not hard to get into those programs, meaning there's no criteria like in others. If you want to become a doctor, there's a lot of criteria you need to fulfill. So just being a PhD in that, for me, it's just kind of like, I don't want to say it's BS, but in a form or another, it's like, why are you wasting your time with that? You know, like just to get some credibility, like you're getting yourself in debt, especially if you live in the US. I'm not sure if she does, but if you do, I mean, it's just a program that's going to cost a lot of money and you can't really make anything off of it. It's not like you're becoming a doctor and something, right? It's just for the title somehow. So when we go to her website, this is her website. Everything is like on Patreon. The same with Sam the Illusionist and other people. It's all on Patreon for these people. Yeah. And then also I wanted to subscribe to her mailing list because I'm always interested in what these people are pushing through their newsletters. You know, I'm on the newsletters of quite a few of these new cagers. And I tried to sign up. Guess what? It gave me an error message. So really bad marketing. Probably has not updated her website in ages is what I'm getting from that. That's just my own professional opinion of working on my own website and other people's websites for quite a while already. It's just, you know, it's things like these are amateur mistakes that you make when you have like 1 or 2 followers, maybe when you don't have any business. But when you supposedly put yourself on YouTube, like this person does, you know, she produces videos frequently still, like she puts them out every couple of days or so. when you have that type of frequency, you would expect like a bomb ass website, but it's not the case with these people. So Pamela is a God realized mystic. So she's bringing religion into it. Having been personal guided by God realized masters, such as a bunch of names that mean nothing, all these entities that are channeled through her. She has deepened her devoted practice and has been preened as a highly sensitive guru of profound compassion and grace. Reminds you of the Dalai Lama, who's a guru and has basically been exposed as a pedophile, right? That's all I see when I see the word guru these days. After 38 years of devoted practice, including the initiation into elemental shamanism, the ancient focus on pranic meditation, and blah, 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 by her master in spirit, Sri Ramana Maharshi. So she's a slave to a master. It's another thing I'm reading into that. You know, they're giving you their entire agenda sometimes on their websites or in their description. You just got to read it correctly is what I found. So when someone comes with master and guru, all I see is, okay, so if you have a master, you are not self-sovereign. You're a slave to that master. That's basically what it is. She's a working wife and a mother. Good for her. Yeah, what I'm noticing is these pictures, they don't correspond to their actual age. So when you go to her YouTube channel here, she looks much older than she does in the pictures. Nothing against that. But when actors do that and actors want to go to an audition, they're going to be not even accepted because you need the most recent picture in your casting book, you know, and then the book that you bring to be casted. So it's just, you know, these are all things that you can easily fix. You can easily have a photo shoot. Like in today's times, you can even take your own pictures with your phone. You know, you just put them up, you put them on a tripod, and that's it. But these people just don't know anything really. You know, they're kind of like, they don't take the time to learn a little bit technology, and it's just, it gets me going. Every time I see such unprofessionalism, it does kind of tick me off a little bit. But that's just what I'm noticing. Like, update your picture. No one wants to see a picture that's 10, 15 years old, because I'm guessing at this point it's at least 10 years old from what I'm seeing how you developed right here. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and go through her video. Her videos don't get a whole lot of views. So this one has like 2,000. She has 40,000 plus followers. It's a bit strange. Percentage wise, that's not a whole lot. Turnaround. Makes you wonder again, what happened to all the other followers? Are they not interested in your stuff? If not, what not? Why not? You know, are you posting too frequently? Are you posting content they're not interested in? Like, just makes you think about these things. And it has like here 9 comments. So there's really not a whole lot of engagement. Actually, let's check out her Patreon real quick. Oh yeah, and the entire Lemuria thing is pushed with her too. So a lot of people have no understanding of Atlantis and Lemuria, really, at least these New Agers don't. It's just another agenda they're pushing. Did these places exist? Sure, but they're really not what these people are saying. Atlantis brought upon AI, and we're basically still in Atlantis, and Lemuria is connected to that. So she has some content here on Patreon. Seems like she posts quite frequently. Nothing that would really, you know, want me to spend 33 a month or whatever, but to each their own. Yeah, so Sacred Sound here, like all of these, yeah, it's just in the schedule. I think I came across her Patreon, like, because it looks a bit familiar, or she's like copy pasting it from another spiritual person. I don't know what's going on here. Anyhow, without further ado, let's get into this. So the title is How to Strengthen Your Vibration, Become a Powerful Spirit Channel. Oh, before we do that, let's just go through her video list. So Lemuria is pushed everywhere, channeling the Lemurians. We're not going to play that one because it's a bit longer than this video. But here we have, again, we have the eye right here in the thumbnail. You know, you saw that eye right there. The eye usually means hypnosis. Another eye right here. The truth about spirit guides, angels, your galactic team. So the galactic agenda is being pushed here too. Channeling the Arcturian Council. Channeling humans from the future. So channeling humans from the future seems to be a big one with her. Wouldn't it be funny if people came back to her like 10, 15 years later being like, you just channeled BS. I want my money back. Like, all right. So let's go ahead and play it.
Up to a very high frequency during meditation. However, I cannot seem to maintain them throughout my daily walk. You are normal, my friend. You and the
Okay, so we have all the buzzwords: frequency, internal vibration, and then she's confirming you are totally normal because you're watching my channel and asking the question I can answer.
This is the world. Any guidance on how to bridge the gap and maintain these high vibrations?
But what kind of high vibrations are that? Because as far as I know, I'm watching this video, I'm not getting any high vibrational stuff from this, and neither are you who are watching this review. So it's just all nothingness, right? It's like nothing, empty language.
This is why I began to offer you, and I don't know why I didn't do it a long time ago, but it's the main reason why I like to offer sound.
Let's just say she's going to offer something on her Patreon where you have to go and pay for it. And, you know, all of this, it's a form of marketing. I realize it. And people have to pay their bills. And she's a working wife and a mom. So I understand that. We're in a food crisis, food shortage, inflation. But it just gets so old. It doesn't get old. I mean, I don't know. I think it just gets old.
I offer collected codes. This is why I gave the offering for this month, and some of you have started to schedule that already. Super good on you.
Yeah, it's the same with other new cages I reviewed. When they use the language like it's super good on you, I said, okay, that doesn't sound so high vibrational, does it? I mean, shouldn't you be using like more high vibrational language?
Because light codes and sound vibrations, particularly light languages that go along with light codes, are an incredible way.
Yeah, so I already have a few videos on light codes. Light codes are dangerous. Like light language and light codes basically encode something in your energy field, which you then have to go ahead and remove. You can do it on your own, obviously, but you have to be aware of what's even happening. And so when they do their light language in the new age, it's one of the most dangerous things out there, especially with the hand. The hand is like one of the worst psychic attacks you can have. What kind of bothers me, aside from the overall message here, which is very new agey, is her mouth is covered. It's covered by this huge banner, and it could just be, you know, the way it's recorded. They don't have a better setup, but kind of just obstructs her entire face. And it's not a good look for someone who's supposed to speak the truth. It kind of like, if it obstructs your mouth, I'm just like energetically, I'm wondering what's going on there. Are you not allowed to speak your truth? So I'm going to put the playback speed on double as much because she's speaking very slow.
I have light codes all over YouTube, all over this Patreon, everywhere. Light codes are a lot of fun. Happy birthday, Felicia.
I have actually been a customer of BetterHelp for a little old.
All right, sorry guys, there's like ads in here. Okay.
Thank you for that. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you put this back in the picture? So you are really normal. That is the main goal is to keep your vibration at a place that's effective, not high or low.
So I don't know if a child gave her something like a coffee cup or whatever, but it's just funny. I mean, I get it. You know, you're doing this. If she's like a mom and working from home, I get it. She's trying to do this from home, but I don't know how old her kids are. Like I would try to have my husband or whatever, or someone try to watch my kids when I'm recording a 13-minute long, because 13 minutes is not that long. She's not doing a whole lot of editing. So from a professional standpoint, I mean, maybe it makes her look more human when her child interrupts her, but if I only have like an hour to record, I make sure no one interrupts me during that time. That's what I would say, at least.
Strong. I want you to learn to create a sacred vocabulary system to bridge the gap between most people have all of us have very conditioned thoughts, and we're conditioned for high, low. Recondition all of your thoughts, emotions, and vocabulary into strong, effective, right?
Okay, so she's speaking about vocabulary, but she's not using vocabulary that I would consider high vibrational.
That's the next step. It's not a perfect step. But even when you think about how you're asking a question, how you're maintaining frequency, when you maintain frequency, the only thing you're doing is filtering out what is effective and what's working for you in your.
This is basically everything. Okay, so your vibration and frequency is subjective, is what she's saying. Okay. Mind-blowing. And people actually tune it. Well, I guess they're not tuning it into more because she only has like a few thousand views, but like people are actually subscribed to this. It's mind-blowing to me. It really is. What really bothers me is the banner. I don't know. I can't. I have to see a person's mouth. You know, I have to see their entire face. Like, get rid of that banner, woman.
Your light body and in your form. That's how you bridge this gap, is to start with vocabulary, to really shift that. I know it's a little top down, from words and then emotions and then thoughts, but we are so programmed that sometimes we have to find tricky ways to undo that conditioning that the matrix presents. This is why I've been giving you so many break the matrix style videos lately. So light codes and sound, those are the things.
What do you mean matrix style videos? She's been displaying how to channel archangels, channeling Marie Magdalene, channeling Archangel Metatron. Like, what is she talking about? Channeling the Arcturian Council, break the matrix. Is that what she's talking about? Are you even insane? Like, okay, part 2. This is ridiculous. So she's channeling these entities and saying that's how you break the matrix. Are you insane, woman? You guys got to go to my video, and you actually go to all. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, go to this playlist reviewing New Age's The New Age Trap. There are so many videos on, the 5D Ascension Trap, and also on actually how you can break the matrix. But don't go towards the light, like this huge reincarnation deception. That's a break the matrix video, in my opinion, not this channeling Metatron.
Right, and I know that it's not, if I could go around with my earplugs with all of my own light music all day, that would be effective, but it wouldn't work for people around me. I have to be a part of the environment. So I've learned all of the little light languages, the quick little light languages that go along with the light codes, and I repeat them in my mind. I focus.
So she's basically infested with light language and light codes. That's all I'm getting from this message. She's infested with these things the entities put on her. Mind-blowing.
On them when I'm noticing that I go into any duality. So now here's the tricky part.
Aha, here we come. Here's the tricky part. If you're in duality, you can't ascend.
Any duality. Anything that I've observed as too good or too bad, any too right or too wrong, anything that I've judged in that older pattern of conditioning of above and below. The conditioning is power over, power under. So it includes all thought systems, emotions, thought streams, and words, anything that pulls you into feeling that it's power over or power under. Do you understand power over, power under? Most of you have been with me for a while.
Did you hear that? She said, do you understand? Like, when people say that, it's the most arrogant thing they can ever say, because they're kind of insinuating you don't have the brain capacity to understand their level. It's not just the New Age that does it, but when you work in corporate life, like a supervisor who is derogative would say that, and that's kind of the energy she's giving off, in my opinion, when she says it.
Power over makes you feel powerless to something or someone else. Power under also makes you feel the same. Hold on, I got that.
You know what makes you feel powerless? When you channel entities. How about we talk about that, Pamela?
Power under makes you feel powerless to someone or something else.
She's getting her script wrong. She's like mixing things up. She's like, hold on. Like, let's just rewind that.
Power over makes you feel that you are the one in control or empowered over something or someone else.
Is that a cough in the background? I don't know. To me, she kind of seems Southern too. She has like a Southern dialect, which is interesting.
You get that? That's really, really important insofar as maintaining your frequency.
Really, really important. Yeah, the Southern people can be very nice, can't they? But I knew this one girl. She was in Pensacola, Florida, which is kind of the South. It's like the armpit of Florida. And she used to channel everything too, and that's really what she looked like the empty stare. Actually, they looked a bit similar, come to think of it, but this girl's like 20, 30 years younger.
No power over, no power under. What we're looking for is harmony. What we're looking for is a remembrance of divine equality. Right? This is the bridge of consciousness. This is that inner.
The bridge of consciousness. You just gotta let these terms sink in. And when you analyze it with the brain, you'll see through the deception.
Consciousness. This is where we are right now in humanity currently. So that was a very important question. Okay, this one's from.
Oh my gosh, the banner disappeared. You can actually see her face, and you can see that crystal in the background and other stuff in the background. Wow. See what a different look that is. Mind-blowing.
Gina Sterna?
Oh my God. Yeah, sorry about the ads. They're a bit distracting.
She says, hi, Pamela and Anya.
Yeah, but I mean, now the banners, you got to get rid of that banner.
Doing this, you are welcome.
Did you see that with the with the prayer hands? That's what yoga people do. Desiring to strengthening channeling.
One thing that I've been chewing on is regarding the pursuit of our gifts and desiring to strengthen channeling skills, particularly for personal and familial benefit at present, less interspecies communication. I do not recall which spirit guide suggested we find satisfaction with our gifts as they are, and that, quote, there are enough channels in this world, something to that effect. I don't remember either. The message is the message for the time. So I'll tell you.
For someone who's this is supposed to be her job or whatever, she doesn't remember a whole lot. Let's put it like back on like almost normal speed. Now it froze. It's so interesting how these videos always freeze.
Do this. One of the things that you could do it if you want. I was about to say you can't do it, but I don't like the word not. You can, and most of you do.
I don't like the word not. You know what I'm saying with that? First of all, not reminded me of KNOT, like a knot that you're kind of knotted up. But also what I read into that is I don't like the word no, is basically what she's saying. So she's someone who probably never says no in her life, unless she's like really nasty outside of the camera and says no to everyone, and which some people are. But let's just assume she's not. So she basically has no boundaries in her life. That's basically what I'm reading into that sentence she just said. I don't like the word not. You're not setting boundaries in your life.
But what doesn't work,
and she's also teaching that to her followers, by the way,
or what works only in matrix conditioning, rather, is when we say things like, when we do things in this way where we're saying, okay, all messages should sound the same, and we should get one direct message that links us to every channeling or every message from our spirit guides, the spirit team that ever existed or will exist. But this
don't follow your spirit guides. Those are just entities messing with you.
Is what we do. And this is kind of tricky. So you need to understand what the ego will do, what the mind construct will do in this scenario.
Always the ego, the evil ego. The ego is going to be the only thing that's going to save you from these deceptions. That's all I have to say to that.
It'll go in and create cognitive dissonance and push you away from your own divine sacred experiencing and remembering.
Cognitive dissonance. This is getting even more woo-woo. So now she's playing the game, the blame game.
By saying that this message doesn't sound like that message, and then you'll say, well, which one is right? Which one is right for me? Which one is wrong? And automatically you've gone into hierarchy.
If you're channeling something, disregard any of those messages. They're all wrong, because you don't have to channel anything. It's all within you. None of these people say it's within you. They're all like, go outside. Go outside of yourself. Channel your higher self. Channel your spirit guide. Nothing's inner. Channel your inner self. How about that?
Power over power under conditioning. Automatically. Do you see how tricky it is?
No, actually, it's not tricky. The only tricky part is when you try to make it tricky and try to confuse people's minds the way you are, and a lot of other new agers are, by the way. But it's not tricky. If something doesn't resonate with you, if your gut is saying stay away from it, which is obviously saying for this person here, this Gina person, because she can't channel, which is great. It's great. It's a good starting point. Don't channel. It's basically saying stay away from it, and she's trying to override. So this Pamela person is trying to override the gut instinct of that other person and saying, oh, it's just your ego interfering. It's not true. Or something with cognitive dissonance even, which is like blaming the person that there's something wrong with them, right?
Then the ego will say, well, I don't want to go around minding my vocabulary all the time. You actually do. The soul actually does, because you'll feel better when you do.
I hate when these people bring the soul concept in, because these people have no soul. They don't have any concept of any soul, because they don't know what the soul is.
It's the same tricky nature in my own ego as you would, or anyone would. I'm not immune from my own teaching here. But what works?
That sounded a little bit angry, didn't it?
Is when we pull everything together and go, okay, that was a message for a particular moment. Is it resonant right now?
Free Tax USA.
Sorry about these ads. We're like 7 minutes in, 3 ads.
Right. Just, I know that may or may not go along with your theme in this question, but it just had to be channeled through. Because otherwise we go about and we find channels and teachers and spiritual teachings, and we're hungry. This world is hungry for awakening right now. So beautifully.
Yeah, but not the false awakening that you're trying to push. The world is hungry because they're seeing through all the deceptions, the mainstream media, everything's showing them. But no, this is not what we need. And this is so dangerous, because people awaken up from, okay, there's something here that is keeping me hypnotized. It's keeping me in this video game called life, called the Matrix. And then they come across these fraudsters or fraudulent people who are basically pushing this agenda. And then they fall into this fake awakening. And now you have the entire chaos where they have to un-F themselves from these teachings. And that might take decades or years or longer for them to do. I mean, we've all been, a lot of people who are watching my channel, we've been through it, right? Like I've been through it too. It took me years to un-F myself from it, to get all those entities off of me too. And it's just not necessary. What would be great is if the entire New Age would disappear, if religion would disappear, but these are all agendas being pushed. And so it's important to see through them.
Seeking and thirsty for love. However, we can create a big cognitive dissonance.
She brought love into it, and then she's saying cognitive dissonance again, as if she actually knew what that is. It's just crazy.
It's immediately, and it's so insidious. The mind goes, well, there has to be one true spiritual teaching. And at the soul level, it's following by the universal law of oneness, but the mind level is going, let me find this little tricky way.
Yeah, she kind of reminds me of someone who doesn't even believe in her own messages. She's just doing it on the side, like her website already says. She has like her PhD something. She has her she's a mother, she's a working wife, whatever. So I kind of see it as she's doing this on the side to get extra money, but she doesn't even believe in her messages. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from her.
Them out of oneness by saying that oneness means every single thing means the same thing, and every single thing has this.
And then she's putting all these terms in her videos without really knowing what they mean, because they sound fancy, they're buzzwords, they keep people trapped and hypnotized. But like, you know, unlike the others that we reviewed, like Sam the Illusionist kind of has a business going on, right? Like with her, I don't see any of that. Like her website barely, like the sign up form didn't even work. It kind of says everything, right?
The same vibrational signature, and therefore the same significance in my journey, and means something that's the same. It never will, because oneness has different flavors. For those of you who are values,
Oneness has different flavors, but oneness is just that, oneness. Why would it have different flavors if it's all just one? It makes no sense. Like these things make no sense. If you really dissect them, they make no sense, right? Uno.
students, you will understand what I mean. It's the one and the all. It's everything. The one in everything.
They're basically just all plagiarizing Dolores Cannon as well, which I dissected in a different video, which is the biggest deceiver out there of all of them.
Did you see the foreword when you're reading the Kabbalion, when it says the one is in the all and the all is in the must be in the one? Any student who understands this is well on their way to enlightenment.
Okay, so the person who doesn't understand it, which is the person who asked the question, by the way, she's not on her way to enlightenment. That's basically what she's saying.
Hermes Trismegistus. Yeah, except it's easier for him to say. We have to be very mindful of these incredibly insidious ways that our ego can use oneness teachings to cause cognitive dissonance and thereby shut us down and say, washing my hands, I'm done with spiritual.
It's pretty dangerous what she's teaching. She's basically just trying to fracture people's minds and play the blame game. She's blaming people. That's what she's doing.
How many people have done that in the beginning?
In a pretty arrogant way, too. I do have to say that. And plus the stupid banners covering up her. You can't even see her entire face. That's how arrogant these people are. They don't care. You know, they don't care about anything.
Do you see where I'm going? Does everybody understand?
No, we don't. Well, all we see is you deceiving people with your snake-like eyes.
This is really important to understand, because it happens before you know it, and then suddenly you're like, I don't resonate with that teacher. I don't resonate with that teaching.
Yeah, hopefully they're not going to resonate with her anymore, because she's really teaching mumble jumble here.
Because they don't say what my teacher says, or they don't say what my spirit guides say, and then before you know it, you can't listen to anyone anymore or anything, which is fine, because that's a moment where you need to go within the soul, and it has its glory there.
Oh, so this is the first time she's saying, oh yeah, you should go within, but only for a moment, and then you follow me, please, again.
The altar inside of yourself. But the ultimate goal is when you can listen to anything and anyone and not get so triggered, or if you do, use it as a moment of catharsis.
You know, what's funny, I'm not even getting triggered by her messages. I just think they're so dangerous for people who are just first waking up to all of this. And I think it's important to point out the deceptions here. But technically, I'm already enlightened in that sense, because I don't get triggered by her mind confusing, mind-boggling things here.
And oneness, forgiveness, or compassion, right? We all have our moments that are really incredible, and it's a very vital phase of awakening that you're going through. However, the ultimate goal in enlightenment is when you can listen to anything. You can be around.
So she's defining the ultimate goal. Everyone has a different goal. Like Magenta Pixie has a different goal. Then this fraudster, Elena Danon, has a different goal. Like they all have these different goals. Who are they really controlled by, huh?
Anyone. I love Byron Katie for this, although I'm not in this space and I do not recommend it to anyone here.
So she's using the name, but she doesn't recommend it. Okay.
Can you imagine having a gunman with a gun at your head saying, I'm gonna kill you, and she looks at him and says, I love you. You do exactly what you need to do. I trust you.
There's okay, this is like the 4th or 5th ad already. All right. I mean, you know, people complain about ads. You want to complain about them right here.
Right. I can't say that I would do that.
No,
I'm not.
If someone were to hold a gun against her head, she would pee her pants. I can already tell you that much. Like this person. So these type of people teach this stuff in front of the camera, but I know these type of people. These people are not fighters or warriors at all. They sit behind their screens, they record their scripts, and then they go into their lives, and they're like the most cowardly people. These are the people that wore a mask during the pandemic, that probably got the you-know-what or whatever, and they never speak out against anything because then their stuff gets censored and taken down. Like, that's the type of person you are. So if someone were to do that to you, you would probably piss your pants. I can already tell you that much, because you're nothing, honestly.
Advising that, because she knows where she is and where she is not in her journey. She knows that. That's why she could do it. But
okay, it's just getting even more. This is like saying she's great. I mean, this is just the most manipulative video I've seen in a long time. And it's so subtle. The manipulations are so subtle. You will barely notice them until you dissect every single word. And she says that with a banner covering half of her face. You can't even see her face really. It's kind of like her wearing a mask, right? Which we just came out of that a year ago here. And then she sips her little coffee cup here, like an old grand lady or whatever. I mean, it's crazy. These people, that people even follow them. I don't get it.
But can you imagine having no fear? Even if she was shot or not, she had no fear.
Yes, there are people out there that have no fear. And obviously she's not at that point yet, so. I don't think these people would survive in New York City 1 second. I know these people. These are the tourists that visit New York City, and when something bad happens, they like scramble around like little rats on the subway. I mean,
can you imagine?
Sorry, it just triggers me. Like I just had a situation with Asian tourists. They for the first time in their life, they saw a person with a knife on the subway. They were out. They were almost peeing their pants, and they went into the next car. Meanwhile, me and other New Yorkers were just like, oh, okay, what's this guy gonna do? Let's just see.
And being able to disarm murder.
These people talk and talk, and they have nothing to offer. That's what I'm getting from her.
And rapists. Can you imagine, with your own spiritual work on this planet, without putting yourself in danger, Lilith says, using proper discernment and wisdom.
Oh, so now she's using Lilith. Wow, mind-blowing.
Can you imagine reaching those people in a way that doesn't jeopardize anyone, but just in a way that disarms them, diffuses the bomb of pain and suffering that they're projecting into the world and possibly saving someone's life? This is ultimately where we're going. Ultimately, we're not there yet in society, so we need to be cautious and discerning of these kind of teachings. However, the embodiment is an incredible opportunity. Let's read the rest of your question. Let's see where you were going. As she says,
No, so hold on. We've been reading this question for the past 10 minutes, and that's the most you can. This is crazy.
She wants to strengthen channeling. I do value my strong empathic sense with humans and animals, she says, but I sincerely desire additional help with clearing blocks that I've not yet identified so I can be my best self in this embodiment. Do you feel that as I continue meditation and setting intention to overcome fears and blocks, that it will eventually become clear to me? No. When you set intention.
Did she say no? That's the first no in her life, probably.
To overcome block.
This woman has no boundary. You can feel she has no boundaries.
You were basically putting your attention on the block and saying, be more. This is one of the ways that I need to teach you about it. I'm so,
you know, even her laugh sounds really insincere.
glad that this question
like, and giggle
got voted to the top, because the more we put attention to, we invigorate that frequency for whatever it is.
Sometimes when you scratch your head like that, it also says you don't know what you're talking about.
Is when we're saying, I don't.
It's just like body language 101. I'm not saying it's the case with her, but that's kind of an indicator.
Want something that should.
So he's kind of just like picking words out of thin air. And just the entire hand and the camera thing.
Not be there. Let me eliminate that portion of God that is me. Blocks just naturally get out of the way once we recognize them as loving opportunities. They could be opportunities for any module of grace to work through you. They are an opportunity for compassion. They are an opportunity for forgiveness. They are an opportunity for oneness and the connection that comes with it.
We got a few more seconds left.
They are an opportunity for trust and allowance. They are an opportunity ultimately for flow. They are an opportunity for mercy. I'm listing so many graces right now.
She got that from the Bible. Maybe she's from Bible Belt, Alabama or something. They really do believe in all that stuff down there, by the way. Like, oh my gosh, you won't believe it.
And graces are.
Like, I met these Bible Belt people, like I said, in Pensacola, Florida. They were like singing karaoke and stuff, and they were like going to church the next day. And I'm like, what? You're running around like a slut on one day, but then you're going to church that like made no sense.
The spiritual technology.
And then they would save themselves. They would save themselves for God or whoever they married. So all virgins and whatnots, but it's just crazy.
Soul. They are why we are here. And that is the essence that will break down any perceived blocks. And then you will recognize that it was never a block, but only something that you placed as a mile marker along the way in your journey to identify parts of yourself that require that grace. Do you understand?
Do you understand? I hate when people say that. It says a lot about their personality. Okay, we're about 36 minutes in, I believe. And I think that's all. I don't have to watch more of this person. I think she's quite arrogant. She probably comes from like Bible Belt something. She has like a weird teachings going on, but I hope it gave you a little bit of an understanding why some of these concepts are damaging. I'm not going to lie, I thought it was a little bit boring, but I do think for people who are watching her, this review could be very helpful, at least if you awaken to these concepts, that is. And, you know, I'm not saying this to diss people. I'm not saying it to be mean or whatever, but I noticed certain things like the body language. I noticed certain tonations in their voice, and it says a lot. And also the level of professionalism on their website and stuff. So, well, that was it. If you want other reviews, comment below. The list is long, but you know what? I received this comment recently with her name on it, and I was drawn to do this review. So everything goes at this point. If you want to know how to un-F yourself from the new age and all the entities and whatnots, I have a bunch of stuff on my own website. You can dig through it. I have courses, sessions, everything else, but you don't have to. Obviously, there's no pressure. What I'm not going to do is put meditations and sound healings on my Patreon. I can tell you that much. I'm not going to encode any light language codes into your energy field. I'm not going to channel trance entities or whatever. So that's a plus. And thank you so much for your support. Subscribe to this channel. YouTube's free. See you in the next video. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful one wherever you are in the world. Don't get sucked into all these deceptions. Bye-bye.